You know her, you love her, and you wrote loads of complaints and death threats because they slightly changed her.
You're talking to them, right? Because I do not recall writing even one complaint and or death threat.
You mean aside from the ones you left in my mailbox?
Yes, aside from the— I mean, no! I didn't send those! That was my clone, Carib Tolan!
Did you have that name written down or something?
Carib, yes. Tolan is actually a last name in my family.
Well, as long as we're on the topic of names, the topic of today's Fact of the Matter actually has two. Ditzy Doo, Derpy Hooves, whichever you prefer. Or Bright Eyes if you're in that vocal minority.
Everyone's favorite pony, the Pegasus of the people, Oh wait, you already said the name. Damn it!
Let's get right into it. Our first fact is about her name, rather fitting since we just got done with introductions. She's the only character, aside from background ponies with no speaking parts, to have two names given to her in canon, neither of which are just nicknames.
The aforementioned Ditzy Doo and Derpy Hooves. So where did Bright Eyes come from? The blind toy bags?
No, that's just a fan thing. Didn't you watch Turnabout Storm?
Yes, I did. They gave her 4 names there. Ditzy, Derpy, Bright Eyes, and rival name.
Is that really how you pronounce insert name here?
Yes, because you get to name Link.
Fair enough. You know, we're probably confusing the heck out of people who can't see this episode's script.
And I am having fun throwing them for loops. Speaking of mistakes...
Indeed! The animation error that caused her famous derp eyes aside, Ditzy Derpy Bright question marks had mistakes made by the production team even with her voice.
Sad but true. The voice actress in question, the lovable Tabitha St. Germain, believed our Pegasus was a boy and gave her a boyish voice.
Granted, I doubt the voice actors and actresses are given full biographies of the characters they voiced when it's only a few lines, as mimetic as they might become. But if Ditzy actually was a guy, that'd probably throw bronies for even more loops than before.
We wouldn't need Peppy telling us how to do barrel rolls if we keep throwing loops at our viewers and listeners.
Technically, they're ailerons.
I know! I saw Bucky O'Hare versus Fox McCloud.
Just making sure. But speaking of rolling, ever notice that one of Ditzy's eyes seems to constantly be rolling upwards? You know, the thing that kinda made her famous and all?
If I didn't, I'd be wondering why she was such a hit. But what about it?
We all know that the reason for her derped eyes was an animation error. Well, sort of. One of the animators gave her derped eyes as a joke, and because she was going to be obscured by another pony anyway, but an error caused that pony to not appear, so we saw the whole thing. But realistically, it's possible to have eyes like that without the cause being a guy at DHX having fun.
I'm sorry, what was that? You're talking way too much for me. Simplify, Professor Yoshi.
Weird eyes made by animation error but can happen in real life.
Yeah, I know one personally. So what could have happened to her to make her see in 2 directions at once?
Well, for one thing, it's unlikely she can actually see 2 ways. What she has is called strabismus, or in layman's terms, lazy eye or wall eye. Specifically, she has a form of vertical strabismus that causes her eyes to look in opposite...
Get to the point.
Fine. I'll skip the Wikipedia article reading and get to ponies. Notice how one eye points up and the other points down? That's basically just vertical strabismus, which makes her eyes, well, do what they do. It's most likely she has alternating laterality strabismus, which basically means both her eyes can deviate from looking forward rather than just being one. Of course, that's just the abridged version of the whole explanation, but we're on a time limit here.
And I was just starting to think you weren't listening to me. Well, her eyes aren't the only thing that can change from one frame to another. In fact, she can change her whole body size.
Are you calling her fat?
I would never! But Ditzy does have a shrink ray of some sort because she's a standard-sized Pegasus in most episodes, yet she's small enough to fit in a snow globe in A Friend Indeed.
So? Applejack became just as small by touching a freaking flower.
You're bringing magic into an argument on facts.
I'm bringing magic into an argument on magic ponies.
Touché. But Ditzy had no need for a flower or magic to change her size, like Applejack or, say, theoretically, Discord?
It is so hard to believe you haven't watched Season 4 after that comment.
Did he become as big as El Gigante or something?
Maybe? I'd have to look up what that is, but he definitely pulled a shrinking body act along the lines of Fluttershy pulling a shrinking Violet one.
Not sure if pun or just a play on our previous conversation of evil flowers.
¿Por qué no las dos?
God damn it, Max.
What's wrong? ¿Usted no habla español?
I took 2 years in high school. I have basic understanding of the language of Mexican.
Hey, look at that. The dislikes this video has just increased by the number of people with Spanish as their first language watching it.
I set records. But maybe we should fly before I piss off another ethnicity.
Well, if they're really gonna get that sore over it, I don't see why not.
Why do I have the feeling we forgot something? Is my head in the clouds again?
Guess we better just wing it. One fact to go. You want to take this one on?
Yeah, I can take it to the skies. Apparently her flying power fluctuates as bad as Ichigo's spiritual pressure.
Well, I was gonna make a Kid Icarus Uprising joke, but sure, that works too.
But yes, she's got pretty nice flying skills in Feeling Pinky Keen, where she's seen helping carry, Celestia knows why, a flower pot, an anvil, a bale of hay, and a piano.
No. Honestly, even Celestia probably doesn't know.
Chalk up another mystery for the ages. Anyway, in the last roundup, it somehow showed she was a pretty bad flyer, flying into support beams. Backwards.
Give her a little credit. At least she didn't fly into it forwards. That would have just been silly.
I still stand by my headcanon that she was sick that day.
Fair point, but that doesn't seem like a lot of fluctuating. So, thankfully, since I'm apparently the Season 4 Watcher guy, I know something about Rainbow Falls.
Rainbow Falls? Is that related to where the Rainbow Factory is located?
Well, it's not too far. Go a couple miles south from... No, never mind. Doesn't exist. Anyway, so in that episode, apparently Ditzy was the first choice to replace, of all ponies, Rainbow Dash on the relay team. Yes, most other Pegasi were on other teams, but come on! Twilight was right there, and we saw in past episodes that she's learned perfectly well how to fly with her new wings.
So, you would trust her to take part in a relay race. Some pony who received their wings just a few months ago over some pony who has had them their whole life?
Well, if you're gonna use that logic, you're saying she's not as good as flyer as Scootaloo, and we already talked about her.
Scootaloo is still a filly. We already did her episode!
The point I'm getting at here is that, when you think about it, we have more evidence of Twilight being a capable flyer than we do of Ditzy, regardless of how long she's had her wings. Yet she wasn't even asked to take over. They went straight for the pony who became infamous in town for wrecking the town hall. Unless she had some sort of flight prowess we haven't seen, that must have been a dumb move no matter what other replacements they could have picked.
Like I said, she was sick that day. But no matter the reason, that's still 2 mysteries in 1 episode. That's an overused meme!
Just like almost all of Ditzy's quotes in her debut. Seriously, I can't go anywhere without hearing someone say, "I just don't know what went wrong."
Well, it's pretty popular, so what would you expect? Them to intentionally screw up and say, "Oops, my bad."
At least that doesn't have 2 shirts on We Love Fine. Yet.
And before he figures out just what went wrong, I've been Courier Dan. See you in the next Fact of the Matter.
And I've been RLYoshi? Wait, what was he? Dan!